Okay, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Dano Crypto. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple, effective, and easy moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystems. So I want to make sure my mic is sounding good. So did we get the mic sounding good? I think yesterday I realized that I just had it on a different setting. So hopefully this sounds a lot better. And we are just happy that you guys are here. So man, did we get rug pulled? Man, we were looking at these patterns. We were looking at Bitcoin, and we were saying, okay, it was a good bounce zone. It's a good bounce zone, but now we got this little, nasty candle. Looked like we got some pretty decent rejection off of this 114 because we went all the way down as low as $112,000 per Bitcoin from the top of 124,000. You can see here we had this big, bearish divergence in the charts. You can see it with the RSI2, kind of the strength, the relative strength index started to go down. And according to the RSI here, it's not looking too good here in the short term for Bitcoin. We're kind of getting some sell pressure, and it has a lot to do with the ETF outflows. We had a lot of outflows for Ethereum and also for Bitcoin as well. So if you're wondering why the prices are kind of moving like they are, is because yesterday we had $315 million outflows. The day before had $523 million outflows. So the past past 4 days, we've had negative, we've had outflows. And so it was probably a lot to do with the nature of how much they were inflowing over the past few weeks and the past couple months. And then the same with Ethereum. They were really cooking into the Ethereum ETF, as you can see here. And also we actually have this really awesome table we're going to show you. We found this website called So Value, and this is actually giving us the ETF data for the BlackRock Ethereum ETF. So you got the ETHA, ETHE, grayscales, you got fidelities, and you can see the volume, net inflow, and also you can see the change in the change rate. So we're gonna analyze this website and actually try and track the metrics on this website a little bit more. I like how the table is set up. You can see cumulative total net inflow has been 11 billion as of August 20th, but then you can see daily total net inflow says negative 240 million. But yeah, so this is how the ETH ETF is performing. And if we were to go into, let's see, like what the US BTC spot ETFs are performing, you can see cumulative total net inflow is $54 billion. And you can see that this has started to cool off a little bit as well. You can see from basically the beginning of January, February, March, April. It's kind of like April, May. We were really flowing in, and this is what brought us into that total net inflow really increasing for BTC. And I think this might be just the reason why we're seeing some sell-off, because these big institutions are buying up a lot of Bitcoin for servicing the ETF, and then they're also selling a little bit as well. So they're kind of buying, they're selling, but hopefully the buying pressure will just exceed the overall sentiment. So if you look here, we're going to get into the ETH ecosystem. As the markets are cooling off, we're actually getting more, we're getting a lot of traction in the altcoins. And I don't know, my camera is looking like I'm green again. Like I'm a little too green. Yeah, I'm looking a little green for some reason. Let's see. Okay, I'll have to fix that. At least on this screen, I look like super green. I look like the Grinch. But let's go into the ETH ecosystem tokens that are the top 15 ETH ecosystem tokens and opportunities, and they're ranked 1 to 15. And so the top one right now with high liquidity, and this is from ChatGPT, This is a prompt that we have running that is sending us every 2 to 3 hours, sending us updated ETH ecosystem data, giving us the tokens, and also giving us basically the whole technical breakdown. So for today, the market scan that AI gave us was that Ethereum is trading in the $4,200 to $4,300 range, and it's showing a 3 to 4% gain over the last 24 hours, but still lagging 6 to 10% week over week. The market dynamics says ETH has outpaced Bitcoin in daily ETF inflows and spot trading volume, which is signaling that Ethereum is a strong pick over Bitcoin right now. With the highest spot share since 2017, ETH now captures 32% of total volume on major centralized exchanges. So that's major. So the on-chain whale moves in the past 72 hours, no significant whale transfer data has surfaced today. The technicals on ETH, which is the relative strength index and the MACD, we were looking at that on Bitcoin, but then also the 2050 estimated moving average. We have real-time data reflects a bullish technical outlook. The RSI is neutral. The MACD and moving averages indicate a buy for Ethereum, combined with spot trading momentum and ETF inflows, and the technical environment remains supportive. So the active narratives and a 30-day catalyst. So a big one is the ETF, like we explained. Despite a recent spike in outflows, Ethereum ETFs continue to outperform Bitcoin's counterparts as demand persists, because I think we are going to be moving into a interesting territory of being able to stake the Ethereum ETFs. And so we're going to get into, so I think that's going to be what institutions are basically trying to front run. They're like, let me get a lot of this ETH ETF, because then we'll be able to stake it. We'll be able to earn yield. And that is very attractive for big institutional money and players in this financial revolution, this fusion, this birth into, TradFi going into on-chain, going Web3. So this is going to be really interesting to see. So no fresh correlation metrics today, but Link continues to serve as the reliable ETH proxy due to its liquidity and ecosystem integration. So it's kind of like the fact that Link is really doing well as a kind of almost like a safe. It's basically been from years on end, from every person who even dives into altcoins and is even the altcoin maxi, they consider Link to be one of the kind of safest, strongest bets and long-term holds for crypto. And that's kind of across the board, the sentiment for Link. So this will just also strengthen the sentiment for holding ETH long-term. If people are willing to hold Link, then they should be willing to hold Ethereum just as long, and building a good, ecosystem of altcoins and a bag of stuff that's blue chip could be smart. So liquidity and the risk flags, ETF volatility remains key. Recent outflows introduce short-term pressure, but current inflows and trading trends are stabilizing the liquidity. Market risk and dynamics continue. ETH dominance and trading volume may reflect rotation from BTC, which could enable broader ecosystem strength if sustained. And the reason why we agree with this is because we see that the ETH BTC ratio chart is steadily continuing to pump. I mean, it had a consolidation. You can see on the daily, we kind of just, we basically flagged a little bit, and now we're breaking out of what could be, a descending channel flag here, and breaking out of that is going to get us to what we've been watching is the 786, or the 618. The 618 here is very important for the BTC ratio for ETH, because this is where we had a lot of action leading into a pre-altcoin season. It looked really good. Alts looked really good, and we're pulling multiples here during here and going down in the consolidation and kind of bouncing around off the 382. You can see bounced off that 382 perfect, got rejected off the 618, and then that's when we basically went into that's when Ethereum went home, essentially, was around here in April and May, and this is Ethereum going home to its USD pair and USDT pair price of like $1,500. So ETH bottomed out at $1,500, and then at the same time we had the ETH BTC ratio start to do this. So this, I think, is our canary in the coal mine, our, you know, whatever it is, the smoke coming out of the chimney, the beacon lit. Like, this is the beacon lit for, and also Chainlink. Look, the Link BTC ratio also started to pump and basically formed a bottom here. Basically formed a bottom, and now we're starting to even get more confidence and selling off a little bit of Bitcoin to hold Chainlink. Now, are we going to see this for any of the other ratios? Well, I mean, this might be your indication. It was looking really good in July for the BTC ratio for XRP, but now we're seeing the XRP to Bitcoin ratio not looking as strong. It's kind of in a descending wedge here. We could maybe see it. I mean, where is this going to bottom out? Will this correlate with the price of XRP, of its USD or its stablecoin valuation? Possibly. And the same with Sol. So this is how you're going to be able to see, okay, what altcoin is going to be the strongest one to hold besides Bitcoin. And this is how you're going to be able to do it. And then you can just say, and with others, BTC is taking out all of those blue chip altcoins out of the top 10 and just comparing everything else to BTC. Have we hit a bottom? Did we hit a bottom in that same spot? Hopefully. If we have, then we'll be trending back up to test into possibly the 618, which would be around this level right there, around that 0.18, you know, that 0.18 ratio. And even getting back up to testing the 382 would be really sweet. Anything in between the 382 and the 0.618 would be a sweet spot for us. Basically, probably being at a point where we want to start selling. You know, and taking a little bit of profits in alts, because this would mean that from here to here, we're getting a increase of, you know, 40% on the entire, you know, kind of ratio and market cap of dominance on Bitcoin going into altcoins. Now, what other metric can we look at that can give us a little bit of hopium? We're halfway to altcoins. We're basically at 51. We're in between the flippening of going into an altcoin season with the strength of ETH out of Bitcoin and going into altcoin season, and we're really close. So the strong alts are Toncoin, we got Lido DAO, we got Algorand, Jupiter. What is that? What is that? JLP? Well, no, that's not Jupiter. We got Ethereum Classic even doing well. ADA, Aave, Litecoin, HBAR, Arbitrum, Hyperliquid, the Hype token, XRP, Say. There's Bitcoin Cash also over the 90 days has actually been up 24%. Doesn't get as much attention. BNB has been had recently broke all-time highs. Up 25%. Tron's had a lot of bullish momentum with the acquisitions and possible going public on the stock market. And we got Wrapped. Is that Wrapped Bitcoin? No, that's not WBT. Let's check and see what that one is. XLM, Stellar Lumens, the Crow ecosystem, and then Link has just been dominating. And the other altcoins that have been super strong has been actually Mantle, Uniswap, Ethereum, Athena, Chainlink, Crow, and then what's been basically outperforming everything in the past 90 days has been Pingu, up 123% over the past 90 days. So, I mean, that's pretty substantial. So if these things have been in the green over the past 90 days, and then we see the things here, like what's been in the red a little bit and not performing as well, this is what makes me think that the Pol ecosystem and things like AVAX, Polygon, Sui, Doge, Near, SHIB, these are still in really great buying opportunities. And if you like these ecosystems, this is the time to pony up and accumulate if you believe in those coins. It's just like, and yeah, and I wanted to mention too, something's been going on with the OKX token. They've been pumping this thing, this OKX token. The OKB, it's just been on an absolute tear. In the past month, they just pumped it up from $46 to 112, and then right straight up to 206. It's crazy. This thing has been flying. But what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the live stream. Make sure you hit the like button. Sorry we didn't address the chat. We just kind of went right into the charts, right into the technical analysis, and then we're going to go into the news. This is going to be a pretty short live stream. We're going to keep it about 45 minutes. So we're just talking about how the market just kind of cooling off a little bit. Telling you about the altcoins. We're going to show you a couple more charts, and we're going to get into some of the breaking news, which is Metamask has entered the stablecoin market, and they're launching their own stablecoin. I don't know. It's not surprising now that, you know, every institution is eyeing stablecoins and looking at how to get involved with getting people on chain by using stablecoins. Seems like the play. So we're going to get into that. Make sure you let me know how everything is looking, how everything is sounding, because we got a new microphone and we want to make sure that it sounds good. We were used to our old setup, but we realized our interface and everything was giving us these pops and clicks and things, and we just couldn't have that with being able, with, you know, making content and going live and stuff like that. Want to make sure we get a good sound. So hopefully it sounds good. It's clear. I was focusing on getting a really good EQ. So hopefully it sounds well. Put a thumbs up in the chat if it sounds good. Put some emojis in the chat. Put some thumbs up in the chat if it sounds good. And we're going to get right into it. But first, put a thumbs up in the chat if it sounds good. These are still in really great buying opportunities, and if you like these ecosystems, this is the time. All right, it doesn't sound too bad. I feel like I'm getting too much of the room. Like it's kind of bouncing off the walls a little bit, but it seems like this should be pretty, I'm on the setting where it's direct. But yeah, thumbs up. Okay, so yeah, I just feel like I might be getting a little bit too much of the room, and I'll tell you what you can actually do. So if you're like an audio person, you're like, man, I'm getting way too much of like the room sound. You can actually EQ the room out by, you have to scoop the mids around like 400, 500. And you also have to widen, the queue. You have to widen the queue here a little bit, and that should do it. And then you want to give yourself a little bit more low end, so you get a little like a podcast mic feel. And I feel like that should do it. That should cut out a little bit of the room, a little less mids. A little bit of the mids on the low. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that should do it. Is that better? That should tighten it up. But I'm testing this mic out. This is a good mobile mic, and this is also a good mic I can just plug up to anything. But if I were to really make a choice, I would go for the Shure microphone, but I had to just get something quick. This is the HyperX Quadcast 2. So we're just testing it out. As long as you get a good EQ and you get in a good position, then it should be good to go. But yeah, we don't want too much of the room. We don't want too much of that smacky room sound. But all right, so let's get into the news. Let's get into the news real quick. We did a little bit of the altcoin analysis. We pulled up some charts. We'll go back to the charts a little bit towards the end of the live stream. But we are going to get right into the news. So let's get right into it. So Metamask. If you're bullish Metamask, they have announced that they are going to launch a stable coin. So it's going to be MUSD. So Metamask becomes first, and this is, and so yeah, I guess this is true. Metamask becomes first self-custodial wallet to introduce its own native stablecoin. So Metamask USD, MUSD in partnership with Bridge and MO. So this is really cool. So Metamask USD is the first native stablecoin launched by a self-custodial wallet, fully integrated into the MetaMask ecosystem across dApps and DeFi protocols. This means they're gonna, we'll see what the market cap and the liquidity is gonna end up being with MUSD and how much it's gonna compete with other stablecoins. And so built with Bridge and Stripe, so this is a Stripe company with Bridge, Supports on-ramp, swaps, bridging, will soon be spendable. I knew this. That's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, they're going to probably implement it where you can spend it with the Metamask card. So if you end up accumulating a bunch of this MUSD, you can just transfer it and bridge it right over to the Linea network and use it on your Metamask card, and just like, you never even have to go through a bank. It's just like right to the debit card, right to it. So is launching amid growing stablecoin adoption and new regulatory clarity, because obviously the Genius Act comes into play, all of the, Operation Choke Point 2.0, where companies were getting debanked is not happening anymore. We're now encouraging companies to come into America and operate using crypto. And I mean, we got strengthening American leadership in digital financial technology, government, giant PDF, 119 pages. You can go through this. This gives a full breakdown of how to get acquainted with crypto, learn about crypto, the timeline of what's happened so far, and then how to know where to start, which is actually great. This is from the White House. So, and then we got the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, Paul Atkins, releasing Project Crypto, which is basically a whole initiative into getting the SEC to ease up on some of the roles and the oversight for crypto, and basically making it to where the CFTC, the Futures Exchange Commission, that they are going to be overseeing a little more of crypto policy, and that we're going to make it easier for companies to be able to operate. So this is kind of the whole deal with Project Crypto through the SEC. So it's a big sentiment change in just imagine if we didn't have all this happening, we'd probably have MetaMask going overseas. We'd have Coinbase continuing to go. We would just have all these companies, and these crypto companies would basically just be mass exiting the United States and going to where they're treated fairly. That's what was happening over the past 4 years with the Biden administration, with Operation Choke Point. They were just like encouraging companies to be like, they're like, bye. They were like, bye, Felicia, go somewhere else. So now this is changing. This is different. Where it's starting to, hopefully, it's not hopefully, it really is happening. We actually are seeing this revolution right before our eyes. That's really cool. So now that companies like MetaMask can know, okay, cool, we can operate, we can issue debit cards, we can have our own stable coin. So it's pretty cool. MetaMask USD will initially launch on Ethereum and Linea, so you can have it on the Ethereum and Linea. So I think Linea is going to end up becoming a pretty popular chain to actually like transact on. And you never would have thought, because you always saw Linea in your MetaMask. You're like, I'm never going to use that. The only time I ever used Linea is whenever I got the Foxy airdrop, and then I was like, oh, okay, I guess there was Linea on my MetaMask. That's probably how a lot of you operated on Linea. You're like, oh, what is this Foxy? I'll get the airdrop. So fully EVM equivalent layer 2 bootstrap by consensus, where it's positioned to play a foundational role in the Linea DeFi ecosystem. So it's pretty cool. So MetaMask USD will be usable in 2 key ways: in a wallet at launch for seamless on-ramp swaps, transfers, bridging across chain; in real life, expected by the end of the year, via the MetaMask card at millions of merchants worldwide that accept MasterCard. So pretty cool. So yeah, let's see how that develops. Let's see. Maybe we'll even test it out. Maybe we'll even test it out for old MetaMask. So yeah, make sure you guys are keeping your eyes on MetaMask and what they're involved with. They're doing some cool stuff. All right, so in other news, we had I thought we were done with this. I already thought we were done with the Kanye West like meme coin debacle, because there was like 17 million different Ye coins. I mean, how do you know which one is going to be the quote real coin? And at a point, who cares? I mean, if you're trying to risk on whatever celebrity coin, if it's the real one or the fake one, you have just as much chance on the fake one as you do on the real one, because the real one is just as much of a scam as the one that's the quote fake one. because you never know. They might end up CTOing one of the fake celebrity coins, and that one goes to millions of dollars in market cap. So, but according to Wu Blockchain, today, 56,000 addresses traded the YZY Kanye coin. 25,166 were one-sided. Of the 30,000 addresses with two-sided trades, 11,000, 38% are, so 38% are in profit, mostly between 0 to 500. 406 addresses made over $10,000. So 406 addresses made over 10,000, including 5. There was only 5 addresses out of all those addresses that made $1 million. And then it says two new and then 1 insider wallet. It says over 60% are in the red, mostly losing between that amount of 0, I guess, to 500, maybe 500,000. I think that's what that is. With one address down over $1 million. Dang. So that's bad. So that's kind of that's how the distribution of the P&L is going with that particular coin. Headband said his buddy hit 5 figs. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if you're quick enough, if you're a ninja and you want to play the game, you could be in that 38%, but then, you know, you also could be in the 60% where you're where you're catching one of those candles and you just don't know. I mean, it could get completely just sniped, sold. You got to think of how many bots are going to be on these particular coins, and they're going to be like auto sold at like a 2x or 3x or whatever it is, whatever the parameters are set. Mostly, a lot of the times with these Solana coins, they get G'd out at a 2x or 3x, and you're not the only one that's thinking to do that. So then imagine the sell pressure on the chart. That's why it dumps so hard, is because all at the same time, the bots and the snipers are running the supplies, that which creates the pump to begin with, and then they have on the other end sniping it on the sell, and that point of the snipe on the sell is when 20% or 30% or however many, maybe even 50% are then now buying, and then hence the down, you know. So hopefully if he did hit 5 figures, he sold some, but then there you go. There's the jeetness of like what gives the coin like a lifespan of like only a few days. You just get like a couple days to participate and that's it. But you just have to know that going into the meme coin trench of whether it be a celebrity coin, a flash meme where it's like the final boss, the Ibiza final boss. Like, no one cares about that anymore. That's gone. That is over. No one cares. It was for like 1 week. You get in, dude had his 15 minutes of fame, done. That's it. It's over. That's what a flash meme is. But yeah, no, if he sold, yeah, no, it's great. So if he sold and he made that, he got in and out. That's the rare thing. If you can do it and you can be quick, you got to know that is the table that you're sitting at, because there's bots and robots and insiders and people that have more information than you do that are sitting at that same table, and they're probably going to outtrade you and be faster than you. So you have to know that. But so Headband said that was his first big win. Yes, let's go. That's amazing. What's his account? We'll give him a shout out. So because that's awesome. You know, if you can do that, that's amazing. If you can because that's the thing in crypto, you can do it with meme trading. It is possible, but you just have to know you might get rugged 10 times before that happens. That's the thing also too, is that's the reality. You could get rugged 15 times before you hit that big win. And with trading, you could think about that too, is like, hey, I got rocked, I got stopped out, maybe I hit my 20% stop loss, whatever it is, but if you were to be locked in and really focus, maybe you hit 5 losses in a trade, and then you were able to really lock in and get a really good breakout position, and you just made all your profit back or your losses back through one nice trade. But yeah, and that's funny. Yeah. GB is 100% correct. He said, crypto education ain't cheap. That's what I always say. Yeah. It's like real education. It's not by buying courses, which you can buy one of my courses if you want. If you're like a super beginner, or you want to send someone to learn about crypto, or just kind of get started, get the backstory, get a little bit of the fundamentals of why you should even like be learning about crypto to begin with, this is a great place to send them. But yeah, you got to learn by like buying a coin and then getting rugged. I mean, that's like the best way that you can learn, I think, is like, cause then it gives you that, it gives you where's the Alex Hormozy chart? Cause this is always the best chart that I like pulling up, is the Alex Hormozy chart, where it gives you that graph. Let's see, Alex Hormozy chart. I think this is it. I really, this is the worst website in the history of any website ever created, is LinkedIn. I don't know why I'm on here. My computer might actually run out of the room pulling up LinkedIn. But this chart, I really like this chart. I really like this. It's the emotional stages of basically doing either a startup, starting anything, whether it be a channel, making content, whatever, any project that you are trying to accomplish. This is kind of what happens. Like, you go through all of these stages. You first start at stage 1. You have optimism to be able to start the thing. You're like, okay, well, I got the spark. I'm going to really start it. I'm optimistic. I feel charged up. But the thing is that you don't know on the other side what it actually takes to then do the thing or accomplish that goal. It probably takes a lot more than what you were realizing and expecting, and your expectations were very high. Okay. So then you start working on it. And then all of a sudden you realize that there's this like line where optimism and pessimism cross. And you start to realize that, wow, like what I realized when I started trading, or I started making wins and you know, thinking that I could like fully quit my job and start like going full-time crypto and all that stuff. Oh, I got informed very quickly about how much it actually takes, and how long it takes to grind and get monetized, start bringing in actual cash flow and things like that. I got informed very quickly, and then I got informed pessimism. And I did go into stage 3, which is the valley of despair. I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? I made a massive mistake. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I just did this. What am I doing? I'm like, I quit my job because I think I was going to be a crypto whatever. Oh my gosh, like laying on the ground in a fetal position in a puddle of my own like tears type of valley of despair. But I didn't want to have to go back to stage 1 and stage 2. I didn't want to have to repeat over and over again those things. So I crawled my freaking way out of the valley of despair, continued to, every time I felt like I was going to quit, make a video, go live. Make a video, go live. If I felt like I might have lost all of my freaking crypto by being just impatient, degenerate, then I will take $25 and put it in my wallet and say, okay, I got 25 bucks of whatever it is, Dogecoin, some Ethereum, I don't care. I'm going to get my crypto back, damn it. And then I got myself out of the valley of despair and got into now back to informed, Optimism. Now I know. Now I actually am informed of what it takes to do this thing. And I'm going to get to stage 5, which is the success and the fulfillment of being able to get yourself out of the valley of despair, get past your previous expectations, and then actually even freaking destroy them and smash them going into stage 5. So this is where we're at. This is where we're at, my friends. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, that's a crazy win. We're gonna get a win like that too. I don't know if it's gonna be on a flash meme rug pull, but it's definitely gonna be in something. I feel really confident about my bags going into next year, and I mean I feel like we're gonna hit a win like that too. I think we're all gonna hit a win like that. I really believe it. I really do. I really hope we all win. I really hope we all win. Hit the like button. Hit that like button. Smash it. Destroy it. Make sure that you're putting the good energy, the good vibes. Pray. That's what we have to do. All right, let's see how many people are watching across all platforms. Thank you again for tuning in. We got 63 people watching on X. We have 1 person watching on Twitch. We got 8 people watching on YouTube. We have 0 people, as usual, watching on Facebook, but we still like to pop it to Facebook just for funsies. We were all thinking that we're about to get 108K Bitcoin. I don't know. Do you think that's possible? Do you think that's possible? We get 108K Bitcoin on the table? We're currently going down, and I think we could have gotten, this was a nice fake out. I said this was a nice fake out, but we also wanted to tell you guys that this wasn't off the table, that we could go bearish and smack into some liquidity down here. This is what we were saying. We didn't want to take that off the table. We said, look, here's the bearish case scenario, double bottom, we pump, or we get rugged and we go down to like $105,000 per Bitcoin. That could potentially happen. It could happen. It is not off the table. So we want to give you guys a good neutral view of what could be happening here in the next couple days, next week. We could get that consolidation down into that level. That's why I even think we even have this picture, this Wojak picture. Where did it go? That. Bitcoin is still at 108K. So I don't know. Hopefully we don't get blasted like that. So I love the Sprotos. Like, how do you make these things so fast? Like, okay, how did you make this? What did you do? How did you make it? Because you guys are lightning fast. I know, I get it. It's Sonic, Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10. You got to go fast. But you guys are lightning fast with the memes. This is why I like the Ticker Bitcoin community and the Sprotos, because they said the moment I go live, they got a meme, and it's posted so fast, and it looks so cool and unique. And it's like, how do you do it? How do you do it so fast? And shout out to Headband, always being super supportive and as a super soldier, always reposting when I'm going live to get the traction going, to get the algorithm going. I feel like we've been shadow banned on both ends, on X and on YouTube, but we're trying to break the shadow ban. All right, what other news do we have for you? We had some other news. Yes, here we go. Here's the news. Here's some of the news. So here's the Kanye launches. Kanye's launch rockets into the top 35 tokens, then crashes 95% an hour. So Kanye Solana token soared to 3 billion. I didn't realize it went to 3 billion. Jesus, what the heck? What the heck? What was the liquidity? Oh, is this it? Liquidity is 124 million. Holy moly. What in the world? What in the world? What in the world? We got to see the top trade. Like, who are the top traders? Wow. Hold on. Let's see. I want to see who bought like $1,000 worth and turned it into just an insane amount. Let's see. Anyone who bought like, let's see this. Yeah, because some of these were making millions. Okay, let's see. Sold for 1.2 mil on. They went down, so they bought. I'm trying to find a really good one. Yeah, I don't know if this is the thing. I mean, I don't know if this would be a buy the dip. I mean, who freaking knows? I mean, jeez. Because that's such a big candle. I mean, it could easily go down. Because think about, for instance, Pump Fund. Pump Fund did the same thing. They launched at 2-3 billion, and then it crashed to 800, which is very similar to right here. And then it kind of went sideways for a little bit. So if we were to go back and look at the Pump token, where is the Pump token? Why is it not here? What the heck? Okay, so make sure we are looking at the right Pump token. Yep, so that's at 1 billion currently. But look, it's so interesting. And remember, it launched at 2.4 billion. It went all the way back down to like around 800 million, and then it kind of went sideways, pumped up to back up to like 1.4, and now we're at 1 billion. This is the official Pump token. The liquidity is 15 mil. And this liquidity on this token is at 122. So one wallet holds 27% of the supply. Another wallet is holding 18%. So what wallet is holding that 27%? What is this wallet? I'm curious about the liquidity because I wasn't expecting liquidity to be that high. That's like Trump level liquidity. And I mean, you got to think about it. Like, who has millions and millions of dollars to be able to put that much liquidity in? Kanye West. But obviously, he's not doing it personally. He has like a team of crypto scammers. It's usually the same crypto scammers that are launching these celebrity coins. The Aiden Davises, the whatever the hell, the freaking launch cabal. And this is what you probably call it, is the launch cabal. It's what's the guy's name? It's like Sahid. It's always like Sahid. This Aiden Raw, you know, whatever his name is. It's like the launch cabal. I don't know how they got where they got, because they always look like jokers. But they're the ones that are involved in doing these massive insider launches. And yeah. Due to market volatility, do I have a copy trading? I do on PHEMEX. So it's only certain tokens. So if you do want to copy trade me on PHEMEX, I don't have any trades open right now. But if you type in, I think it's Dano. I think you just type in Dano Crypto. Type in Dano Crypto on the copy trading and see if you can find me. Yeah, you should be able to. Yeah, see if you can find it. But yeah, this pretty crazy. So Kanye West continued his controversy-filled era with the YZY token launch on Solana this week, where trading activity drove its market capitalization near $3 billion So the pace of YZY's accent and reversal mirrored past episodes in the Solana ecosystem where meme coins generated substantial liquidity and compressed windows. The debut quickly shifted discussion toward whether these launches, often tied to well-known public figures, warrant more oversight as traders with early access capture profits at the expense of late entrants. Yeah, I mean, the effect left some participants facing an estimated 10% round-trip cost to enter and exit positions. Despite these costs, volume surged in the first hours of trading, producing more than $9 million in collected fees for the pool's operators. Dang. And that's the thing, too. It's like, this is what is crazy. Not only do the same people that are launching the coin have insider wallets that are making millions of dollars on the insider wallets, they're also generating millions of dollars in fees by people buying and selling the coin in the liquidity pool. So it's like they're highway robbery on both ends against people that are going to come in and try and feel confident about this token. Oh, I'm going to make some money. It's like, the launch also revived scrutiny of West's shifting stance towards celebrity coins. Earlier this year, he said such projects exploit fan communities, even as plans reported by the block outlined an allocation in which 70% of the YZY supply would be retained by West himself. Interesting. And look, that structure and the concentration of insider holdings observed on-chain deepened criticism that retail participants were structurally disadvantaged. Of course they are. The sharp decline only amplified that narrative as many wallets were left with steep losses within hours of trading. So in this, during the Trump token surge earlier in 2025, Solana DEX processed more than 27 billion in daily trades, showing how quickly speculation can flow through the network. So YZY extended that pattern, briefly boosting Solana's on-chain activity, even as its trajectory resembled earlier boom and bust cycles. The YZY episode concentrated multiple themes in one launch: rapid capitalization driven by celebrity branding, heavy insider positioning, costly fee mechanics, and the quick reversal that left many late entries with losses. It says for Solana, the event once again highlighted that meme coins remain a key driver of volume, even as questions over transparency and fairness continue to mount. So it is true, but how much of that volume is real volume with real participants instead of it being a lot of just bundled wallets that are getting in early sniped entries, and then also those same botted wallets, you know. Headbands like, get more clout, do your own coin, let us be insiders. I told you guys know about Bean Coin. I mean, Bean Coin I think still would be a great idea, and still sell the coffee, like have that whole kind of thing. But I think mainly just to have it as like as a collectible to represent the brand. That's essentially what I would want it to do. And then eventually, if I can build out the rewards like app and program, I would just need a cool developer to do it. And I'd be happy to do it still. Like, I think it's a great idea. You know, I was talking to Headband for weeks about this freaking thing, and then I was gonna, you know, really launch it. I have the coins created. The coins are there. And what I might do is just start airdropping the coin with no liquidity and just sending it to ads. Like, give me your addresses. I will airdrop you supply to eventually then create a liquidity pool, and then you can do whatever the heck you want with it. But I think it'd be a cool concept. And then it would be represented as my brand and my collectible for my crypto content and my coffee brand. I think it still would work. It's just I would want to do it. I would want to do it in the right way. Do it really cool. None of this scammy crap. I wouldn't want it to end up like this, you know. None of the scammy crap. I'll just send it all to you guys and then make a liquidity pool, maybe get support from launch pads or something. I don't know. We've been thinking about doing it on Pulse Chain. We're thinking about launching Beancoin on Pulse Chain, baby. Trump's World Liberty Financial mints 10% of USD1 supply for Treasury. So this, we're kind of on the foot. The news is very focused on stable coins today. I'm sorry, I know, boring snooze fest, stable coins. You're like, where's the pumpage? I want the pumps. But what you guys need to realize is that your altcoin bags are going to pump because of the nature of the liquidity and the mass liquidity coming into the chains. Because they have to use blockchain to mint the stables. They're not going to create their own blockchain to mint the stable. They're just going to use trusted, long-lasting blockchains like Ethereum and Tron and Binance Smart Chain and Solana now to mint these stablecoins. So World Liberty Financial, the crypto project affiliated with President Donald Trump, has minted approximately 10% of its USD1 stablecoin supply, totaling $205 million for its treasury. So, and it's backed 1-to-1. So, I mean, this is like, it's boosting the USD1's adoption. We're going to start seeing USD1 as a liquidity option and stablecoin option inside of DeFi, inside of these applications. So just kind of get familiar with it, because this is they're betting heavy on this, and it kind of lines up. You know, look, MetaMask is going stablecoin. They're gonna be getting probably seed rounds of liquidity of institutions getting access to MUSD. PayPal has their own stablecoin. Gemini has had a stablecoin for the longest time, if you think about it. But then it's just continuing the trend. But it's just liquidity. You got to think about it. Liquidity, bridge TVL, stables. This is what the game is. Hyperliquid, $5 billion in stables. You know why? Because people are having high trading volume on here, and they're generating a ton of revenue. You know, I was watching a clip of Ivan on Tech's live stream, and he was talking about how Hyperliquid has generated more revenue than top companies on the stock market. This is wild. So they're able to generate more revenue with only 10 employees, apparently, where these companies and these big Fortune 500 companies are not generating even the same type of revenue, and they have like thousands of employees. So it's just kind of the nature of like how you can do something major with less people and be more efficient and generate revenue. And that's what I think has been the whole thing about Solana and Solana applications, and why there's been so many active addresses and things happening on chain on Solana, because things like Jupiter, Radium, and Orca and Pump and stuff like that have generated a lot of revenue and a lot of fees and all that stuff. And it's so this is what I think why we would want to hold. Why would you want to hold an altcoin? Well, is it making money? Are institutions ponying up and generating and minting and using it for stable coins and maybe their own application that they want to build for their company? That's how you want to think about it. So you just position your altcoins and you position yourself accordingly. And that's kind of what I did with my bag, is like, I'm bullish crypto gaming. I'm bullish, ecosystems that are connected with exchanges. I'm bullish on the DEXs. So also with the DEXs and the layer 2s that are connected with Ethereum and Solana, I want to hold Ethereum and Solana, the native token. And then I also want to hold the bullish layer 2s and ecosystems that are connected with it. And hopefully the coins that I'm holding are all interoperable, connected to each other, and will pump subsequently. That's what we all hope if we're building up our bags, right? And then stay calm. Yeah, you're reminding me about the interest rate cut down to 71%, less than 4 weeks away. Oh, wait, did that change? Did that continue to change? Now because it was at 84%. Now we're at 71%. What the hell is this? Why is it going down? Why is it going down? That's so ridiculous. We need a dang cut. We need a cut. We can't keep continuing to... That's what's going to be garbage, is if we don't get a cut, the market's going to react like, because we were trading in and people were front running the possibility of a rate cut in September. We were 95% chance we were going to get a cut in September. What is it now? Is it going to be 50-50 leading up to it? Ugh. Oh, Lord. But I don't know. I think ultimately we need to worry about next year. I think we're too focused on what's going to happen this year. And honestly, I think that we need to be focusing on what's going to happen next year, because I think that's when that's going to be the true pump fake of the markets, where people are going to call the top and they're going to call the bottom. They're going to call whatever they want to call. And Bitcoin and the markets are going to not care what you're calling. It's going to care about the amount of liquidity that's coming in. And so if liquidity is coming in and there's nowhere else for all this money and this fiat cash to go besides on chain, this is how we get this massive network effect coming to play. This is how it happens. Okay, more news. Binance volume surpasses top 5 competitors combined as crypto markets contract. Binance's overwhelming market influence reshapes global exchange dynamics and raises systematic liquidity concerns. So Binance's trading volume in 2025 has reached levels exceeding the combined totals of its leading competitors. Interesting. But it's sketchy though, because basically we know what Binance has been doing. Binance with Wintermute, because if you go Binance Wintermute 2025, you can see Binance sending assets to Wintermute to liquidate longs and liquidate leveraged longs. Sol, a bunch of Sol. They do it with Solana. They do it with... So I wonder. Pretty interesting here. Data compiled by Crypto Quant shows Binance handling up to double the trading volume of all other exchanges combined, a development that is raising questions about the structure of liquidity in global markets. The platform's strength spans multiple areas beyond spot trading. This level of concentration carries market implications. Europe's Securities and Markets Authority officials have previously warned of systematic risks when a single platform processes a disproportionate share of trading volume, describing it as considerable concern in regulatory commissions reported by Reuters. Market structure is further shaped by liquidity disruption. While Binance leads in spot trading, other platforms such as OKX surpass it in liquidation volumes, reflecting different risk dynamics across venues. That's funny they mentioned OKX because that token has been pumping like crazy. I wonder if all of the money that they've made off of liquidations, they took that money and then pumped it and did buybacks on their own token. That would be wild. That if that's what they've been doing, if OKX is like, all right, let's take all this money that we've made off of traders getting liquidated, because guess what? Remember when you get liquidated, you got 10% or 15% of that USDT left. Guess where it goes? Doesn't go to you. You think it just disappears? They get to take your money. So, and that's the risk of borrowing their money and leveraging, because they're giving you their USDT to trade with. So guess what? If you lose it, then they're going to take your money. So it's pretty crazy. So the scale of activity also intersects with regulatory oversight. Binance is acknowledged as the exchange's position as too large to unwind without broader market disruption. That perception has carried forward into 2025. So yeah, that's wild. So yeah, with exchanges and trading volume, 23 billion, and then under it, direct competitors, CoinW, Crypto.com, OKX, and BitGet. So that's it's pretty interesting. Yeah, it's a lot. That's a lot of market dominance right there. And it makes you think of like, okay, and then also the BNB, the BNB token. You start thinking about BNB. But recently on the daily here, you can see BNB was hit new all-time highs. We have bearish divergence here. Point of control sitting at 763. Oh, and Headband said he hit. Everyone's hitting. That's cool. I'm glad everyone's hitting. Forgot to mention, I finally hit as well. My BNB play I've been buying for 2 years is finally 36x up. Whoa, dang. So what, can you tell us what coin it is? Is it cat coin? That's the one I think on BNB that I feel like would might do well. Is cat coin. Yeah, Catcoin, apparently the website of catcoin.com was established like a really long time ago. I don't know how long ago, but apparently it was like before like a time traveler made the website. The narrative for Catcoin is the dogs have had their day. It's time for cat to take reign. And that was kind of the same play with Pepe. You know, when Pepe was launched, it said the dogs have had their day. It's time for Pepe to take over. That was the Pepe play. That was the Pepe website. That's my Binance coin that I think could potentially do well. I've held a little bit, but I don't even have any anymore. But that's one. But you can get it on BNB and also I think on Solana too. Yeah, if we're going to look at some BNB memes, so since we're on the subject of BNB, but hold on, just give me just a second. All right, BNB memes. Let's see. Liquidity. We have... I mean, what are all of... I don't even know. Oh, okay. Okay, you said Koma Inu. Okay, Koma Inu. 2.7 liquidity, 16 million market cap, 10 months ago. Oh, and there's also... I always forget, like, Chain GPT. That was a big narrative and token on Binance. That was the Chain GPT. That thing pumped really well. Let's see. Yeah, let's look at this Koma Inu chart. Yeah, definitely like, I mean, it's at the bottom. So I mean, you're buying the bottom, buying quote the bottom. Got killed on the Trump pump and dump. Did pretty well, you know, kind of consolidated up, doing two bull flags. 2 bull flags to the downside. I don't know. We like Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 Inu. That's the only Inu that we really like. That's the Inu that we like. It's making me mad that when you pull up the liquidity, it's not pulling the damn token up. Deck screener. The heck? Keep doing that with my coins. And it's annoying. You put all this garbage up in the front. Again, another coin, an example of you're buying the bottom. You're buying the pain. This is the point where you're just like, I have to buy the pain. You have to buy the pain. It's terrible. I know it sucks, but you too could hit a 4 or 5x or a 6x or whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter what coin it is. You gotta buy low and sell high. It's just, and it sucks, you know. You wish you could buy when it's green and it just continues to go green and continues to be euphoric, but That's not the nature of this game. We have to go through the valley of despair. And by the way, most altcoins and meme coins kind of look like this. It's not just yours. It's not just yours. It's not just mine. It's kind of everyone's. And you can play the game and do the gamble on the new launches, but it is still it's a risk. It's a risk. Like for instance, the Kanye coin, could you potentially be getting and buying the dip, and that was your entry to be able to catch the next leg up? You don't freaking know. You don't know. This thing could go full Melania and just be like this. So you have to be careful. You just have to know, like, don't put like all your eggs in the Kanye basket. And know that buying from here, your best case scenario is that it goes to 2.7 billion, and then you get a chance to maybe get a 2x to maybe a 3x. And it's most likely that the wallets that didn't sell enough time up here are going to sell again, and then you just don't know. With a token like this, you just do not know. That's why I like tokens like this, because I saw what happened. I've seen what's happened. It didn't hit these and then just go into the complete floor, into the ground, and never come back. That's why I like charts like this. It kind of like it gives me a little bit more data. I can kind of like, okay, get a little bit more data. That's why I feel good about, some of these old, some of these altcoins. I know, but I'm not going to pay attention to that, because then that's just going to make me buy Wojak on Solana. I don't want to do that. I want to hold Wojak on ETH, because when ETH goes to 10K, I'm holding legacy ETH coins that are probably going to pump a lot harder. I'm just more on that camp. I'm going to die on that sword. I'm sorry, but I hold all my meme coins on Ethereum, ERC20. That's probably, you could probably say that's the dumbest thing you could ever do, Dano. Or when we get into next year, you're going to think I'm a genius, because all those coins that I've mentioned are the things that I've been betting on with the ETH ecosystem, even as far as like Aave and, all these and just like old school DEX protocol stuff, and just going parabolic. We'll see though. But all right, portfolio breakdown real quick. Portfolio breakdown. Nakamoto Games is up today, 1.5%. That's really the only thing that's up. Everything else is kind of down. Everything else is in the red. The stuff that's been up in the past 24 hours though, Medieval Empires was up 21%. So on the daily got a nice little push up on Medieval Empires. All the altcoins just kind of went. All the altcoins took a nice little plunge. You got to remember Bitcoin going back down into the 113, 114 range. Altcoins did not like that. But interesting enough, the ones that are connected in the Ethereum ecosystem, like Chainlink, those are like holding up strong. So I love seeing that. I like seeing the coins that are revealing themselves as the picks. It's like, it's obvious. Bitcoin goes down, altcoins go down. Who's pumping first? And you can literally just see it by going to your trading view. And if you're following certain coins, just go and do the 24-hour change and be like, dang, that's the rotation. All right, let's go. And you can see that Monero, even though it got, quote, attacked and had FUD in the news, that was its perfect bottom to be able to get a nice low at 233 and continue possibly a Monero uptrend. Now we've waved and we created a nice little trading wave to potentially push us back into all-time highs. Who knows? As you can see, there's a nice trading channel happening here that could push us up to the upside. Maybe money is rotating into Monero, knowing that Monero might be the only safe place after Bitcoin gets too watchy, you know, but watching everything you're doing on Bitcoin. Crypto gaming, I'm telling you, it's gonna pump. Crypto gaming's gonna pump. It's gonna come in. It's gonna come in hot. You don't want to be sidelined on crypto gaming coins. We have targets for those, and we're also holding some. Medieval Empire. Medieval Empires. We're holding Naka, and we're gonna. I don't know. I think we're gonna add into the infrastructure side where with IMX Immutable. We want to hold some Immutable. I think that might be a good play too. But yeah, so yep, just following those. Looking pretty decent. Let's see. Bitcoin down 4% on the week. Ethereum's down 7%. You know, we were really cooking. Remember, we told you guys that the reason why we were down and why we're selling off ETF outflows was hitting pretty hard. Avalanche still below $30. It's so cheap. It's so cheap for AVAX. And AVAX, by the way, super fast. If you send an AVAX transaction, you're going to get it in less than like 5 seconds. It's crazy. It's almost faster than Solana. Solana, I think, is still bullish, but you might have to hold a little longer. I think Solana is going to get the $1,000 break, but we have to let Ethereum have its time, and that there's going to be ETH season, which will lead us into alt season, and money will rotate into these chains. Probably one of the two chains that it might rotate into the most is probably TON and Solana. Remember, TON was getting massive traction and having a TON season, just like Solana had a Solana season. TON season just got chopped a bit because the money, the powers, the money changers, the powers that be, basically saw that TON was about to break critical mass and about to just take over, and they freaking ambushed the damn CEO in Italy or wherever, Paris or wherever it was, ambushed the dude, and then caused massive FUD. Do you realize that is the moment where money changers and people that run shit, they go, whoa, 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 whoa. We run things, not you. And then that's exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened. So there could be another TON season where it gets, kind of gets back up, because think about how many people use Telegram. Think about now United States has access to the wallet. I can now, right now, if I wanted to, go in my wallet, send TON to Headband in 2 seconds. And also a stable coin if I wanted to. I can just go boop, boop. It like super fast. So think about that. Possibly could have a TON season, a Solana season when we get the rotation out of ETH. It's gonna be crazy. And then I think about while ETH is having its ETH season, we'll have things like Optimism and Arbitrum and anything that's connected into the ETH ecosystem pump really hard too, because we're seeing it happen right now. Arbitrum recently went up on the month, was up like 50%. It was doing really well. And then I think Brett still has a chance to still be the top meme coin on Base. If Base is really going to try and onboard millions of people and they're using Brett content and Brett as an example, maybe they're signaling, hey, here's a funny meme coin that's on Base and it's Brett. Still kind of betting on that. That was my initial thesis, gosh, freaking year ago, like so long ago, 2024 in like March, whenever this thing launched, I felt the same way. So really my stance really hasn't changed overall when it comes to my like analyzing the markets and knowing where I want to be bullish, where the money's flowing. It hasn't changed. I've actually kept pretty solid on all my picks. Nothing's really changed. You know, I'm bullish XYO. Still, I'm bullish like all of the stuff that I've been bullish on for years now. I'm just getting more information. I'm doubling down. I'm knowing that I have to hold longer. I have to get more money in these things if I truly want to make like some wins. Really make some wins. You can't just have $50 in 17 million different coins and hope that one of them hits 1,000x. It's not going to happen. You need to dial in and have 15 coins where, yes? What is it? Something's outside. Oh, okay, hold on. The boss just came in and gave me a message. So actually, we're going to go ahead and end the live stream. We started the live streaming way too long. We're past an hour, but we really appreciate you guys coming in today, hitting the like button. We got the likes past 10 likes, and just thank you for bearing with me for getting my, my sound and everything kind of dialed in. I know I still look like a green goblin on my camera for some reason. I don't know what the heck's going on. But I really do appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much. Love every single one of you for coming in. And just God bless you. May the light of the Lord Jesus Christ shine on you and your families. And you can be prosperous. You can live in gratitude, in abundance, and accomplish all of your goals, knowing that it might be a little challenging sometimes, but with some determination, some faith, and a little bit of prayer and a little bit of gusto, you'll be able to do it, my friends. I believe in you. I believe in you. I believe in myself. And together with us having that collective belief, we will dominate. So with that being said, I will see you on the next live stream. Peace out.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworker you're quitting because Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
HPOSNI.com.